you want to lose weight but not give up your alcoholic beverages? Then listen to this talk and I'll tell you what you need to do. I'm Rebecca Gahan with Kick at 55 Fitness. Remember, subscribe to this YouTube channel and click on that bell for all of our notifications so you can hear all of our talks. Okay, what shouldn't you drink? I'm gonna give you a list right now of kind of the classics that have a ton of calories. So we're gonna talk about what not to drink, what to drink. Okay, can of beer has about 154 calories. Just a simple glass of like sweeter wine has upwards of 124 calories. Now forget about the sugar, we're just talking about the calories. Okay, oh, sangria, which is one of my personal favorites, 215 calories. A margarita, oh, I love margaritas, 200 plus calories. And forget about if you start doing some of those like kind of crazy margaritas. A mojito, oh, I love the mojitos, 242 calories. A Manhattan, 187 calories. A mimosa, perfect way to start a Sunday, but not for your weight loss. 160 calories and upwards. And then a Moscow Mule, 182 calories. Okay, stay away from these drinks. Also, mixers, they're killing you. Orange juice, you put orange juice in, has 22 grams of sugar per 8 ounces. Coca-Cola, guess again, 26 grams of sugar per 8 ounces. And tonic water, no more gin and tonics for you. 22 grams of sugar per 8 ounces. So you're sitting here saying, okay, Rebecca, what can I drink? Okay, so let's start with this. Shots, 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 okay? So you can have gin. Let's see, I don't know if I have any gin here, but I try to bring everything from my collection. We've got rum, yum. We have tequila. I think I have tequila somewhere, or maybe I drank it all, just kidding. And vodka, okay? So just a straight shot. Whiskey, I don't have any whiskey. 0 grams of sugar, okay? That is the best way to go, just a straight shot, no mixers. Okay, second, wine, but the drier the wine, the less sugar. So what happens with wine is there's something called residual sugar. So it's basically once they've kind of gone through the whole process of taking all of the juice out of the grapes, it's that residual sugar, and that is where you're going to get, again, the increased carbs, increased sugar, which we'll talk about what that happens, or what happens later in your body. So just dry wine, dry red wine, like a Pinot Noir. You can have a nice rosé, maybe a Malbec. There's about 3 grams of carbs and 1 gram of sugar per glass, okay? And we're talking about a 5-ounce pour. White wine, a nice dry Zinfandel will work for you. It's about 85 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs, and less than 1 gram of sugar per glass. Okay, now my personal favorite, which anybody who listens to me or trains with me knows, I love a nice dry Prosecco or a champagne. So a drier champagne brut or Prosecco brut is, for me personally, is the best way to go. And I'll talk a little bit more why, besides the sugar and the carbohydrates, I like this. But again, in a 5-ounce pour, about 3.8 grams of carbs and 1.4 grams of sugar per, again, about 5 ounces. And then finally, we've got kind of like the ones that are really big in the market right now. We've got light sky or light beer. These are big right now if you're working on your weight loss, about 0.32 grams of sugar per a 12-ounce bottle, which this isn't a bottle. And then everybody's doing these, these seltzers, the high noons, again, along the same lines as the light beer. So these are the way to go if you're drinking. Here's why I don't love these. I'll kind of go through why I don't love some of these. There's not a lot of alcohol in this light sky. I think it's like a 4% alcohol, same in the high noons. So here's what happens. You're out, you're thinking, wow, it's only 95 calories. Next thing you know, you've had 5, 6, 7, okay, because there's no alcohol content, and they go down so easily. The reason that I love the Prosecco is it's about 11, 12% alcohol. So you can have a glass or two, and then that's it. You're feeling pretty good. We're kind of looking for like a little mellowness, a little bit of a buzz. You're gonna get that with the Prosecco and with the wine. But again, I do love that Prosecco. I can't say that enough. The hard liquor is definitely advantageous from a dietary standpoint, but that can be a little tough, especially if you're not somebody who's used to drinking. The last thing you want to do is be out doing shots and you're in a business dinner and they're carrying you home. So again, we just went over everything that you shouldn't drink and everything that you can drink. Now let's talk about what happens in the body. Why is alcohol killing your diet? Because you might say, well, Rebecca, I am drinking the lowest carb, the lowest sugar alcohol, but I'm not losing weight. Why is that? Okay, so here's what happens. First, when you drink alcohol, it becomes a primary source of fuel in your body. So what your body says is, okay, I'm gonna consume this and I'm gonna burn everything, and then anything that's left over from this is going to turn into fat. So it's going to burn everything first, then it's gonna leave the glucose, the carbohydrates, the lipids from the fats, and then all of that excess glucose and the lipids that you didn't burn, they get stored as fat. Okay, so if you have alcohol and then let's say you have a hamburger with it, maybe you have a little bit of rice or pasta. I'm not saying that's what you should eat, but that's what you do. We're gonna burn the alcohol first and then everything else stored as fat. Okay, 2, it does go to your gut. It's just a simple fact. So when they say beer guts, it's not just a myth, it's actually what happens. So alcohol has a lot of simple sugars. Even if it's low in sugar, it has almost no sugar, anything that's in there is going to be a simple sugar. And what happens again in the body is those simple sugars, when not burned off, are going to be stored as fat. So we can't choose where the fat ends up, and a lot of time it ends up right here. Okay, 3. Alcohol really messes up your testosterone levels. This is for men and women. Okay, yes, men have higher testosterone levels, but women still do as well. So when you have a lower testosterone level as a result of ingesting too much alcohol over time, we call that low testosterone metabolic syndrome. You don't want that. That definitely intervenes with your weight loss program. Not only does it intervene with an essential hormone like testosterone, but what happens with alcohol when we ingest it, period, is it messes up our digestive system. I mean, that's just the simple fact of it, because it's putting so much stress on the stomach and the intestines. And I think you can feel that when you drink, right? You're like, oh my God, my stomach. So the things that you would normally digest are not going to be digested properly. So what happens? Well, then it's going to decrease your digestive secretions and the movement of food through your tract, which is why sometimes you have stomach cramping the next day. You might be in the bathroom quite a bit. And then it affects the metabolism of your organs, for example, like the metabolism or the metabolic function of the liver. And then that will play a significant role in your weight management and essentially your weight loss, okay? From here, again, lots of added sugars and alcohol. So we're looking at the good ones right now, but we all know we love those mojitos. I love sangria, I love mojitos, and I definitely love my margaritas. Lots of added sugar. Well, what does sugar do? Sugar is an inflammatory. It inflames, it swells you up. What happens when we're inflamed? Okay, we're gonna increase our insulin resistance. You do not want to be insulin resistant. So if you're insulin resistant, what happens is your ability to break down sugar in the blood is reduced. The more sugar you have in the blood that is not digested, it's not taken care of, it is turned into fat, okay? So your body's, again, just going back to that first point, it's gonna burn alcohol as its primary fuel source. Everything left over is going to turn into fat because your body just can't handle it all. So again, don't want to have too much sugar in the blood, especially from alcohol. All right, finally, your digestive system treats alcohol as a toxin, and it's actually called a carcinogen. And so what happens is your body is gonna work really hard to remove the alcohol in your bloodstream. The harder that it's working to remove that, the harder it's going to be for it to do its other jobs, which is, ideally, if we're trying to lose weight, increase our metabolic function and then help us to digest everything in sync and then ultimately lose weight. Stop right there. What do you think you're doing? Stay tuned for our next video and click right here to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.